If you're thinking you can't wait for work to return to the way it was before COVID, then you probably should take a hard look at the trends over the last several decades and reassess your outlook. I remember when I was a kid at Disney World watching GE's Carousel of Progress. You remember GE? It was the largest company in the world that would never be broken up into smaller pieces and fall off the Carousel of Progress, right? I bet many of you remember the Disney attraction, or if you don't remember the attraction, you may remember the song, Now is the Best Time of Your Life.
Now is the time, now is the best time, now is the best time of your life.
You can thank me for not singing the song now. The Carousel of Progress attraction took us through nearly 100 years of going back to the turn of the century. That is, 2 turns ago, 1900. When I think of this attraction, it makes me chuckle because the same amount of change that took place from 1900 to 2000 will likely be condensed into the next 10 to 20 years. So if you're worrying about work from home and just wanting things to go back to the way they were, that's likely not going to happen. I suggest you switch your focus to blending your company with the virtual future. Are you ready for cryptocurrency, VR, AR, MR, NFTs, digital twins, avatars? Or are you at least learning what these are? We live in a complex world, not to be confused with a complicated world. Complicated is a jet engine that's hard to build the first time, but the steps can be documented and repeated with a high degree of predictability because a step-by-step linear process can be followed. Complex means there are many different inputs and elements that interact with each other, impacting outputs in hard-to-predict ways. In complex systems, it's impossible to identify a simple cause and effect relationship between one change and the resulting outcome. Is your company complicated or complex? Do you lead like you can reduce everyone's job to a set of instructions, or do you embrace the individuality of a person seeking ways to maximize the interconnectivity within your team? Do you provide checklists or encourage people to make choices? Work and life are blended in a complex system of unpredictable outcomes. A person's life is uniquely impacted by many different but interconnected elements, experiences, situations, and relationships. Successful leaders today must recognize they are unable to isolate employees in a closed world, separating from other concepts, people, and influences. This isolated way of thinking is referred to as the industrial leadership model. It's critical that leaders embrace the multiple influences and interconnectivity between departments, people, and experiences from work and life. This type of leadership recognizes the interdependence and connectivity of multiple variables, creating the potential for exponential growth in companies and in people. This is known as an emergent leadership model. In an emergent leadership system, leaders foster a culture enabling people to be unified by common pursuits, yet the employees have the freedom to choose the actions to achieve meaningful outcomes. To realize potential, successful leaders have proactively shifted from the industrial model of leadership to emergent leadership and embrace the natural interdependence of multiple factors. By the way, this isn't about the future, this is about today. The question is, are you and your company's leaders adapting at the rate necessary to succeed in this rapidly changing world by unifying employees, customers, and communities?